All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect, man who's pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to all the Aquath out there who's sitting back in silence, just watching, paying attention, and learning. Shalom. Um, I just wanted to get into a lesson today um, that came to mind while I was on the road last night working. Let me pull up a yeah, there we have it. Yeah, so I wanted to pretty much get into this. Get rid of that, get rid of that, and that. And yeah, so pretty much, yeah, I wanted to get into this. And this is a prime example of, what we should do, because when we come into this truth, we can't bring all those baggages from our old life into this new life. You know, we have to pretty much shed all that excess weight, that excess fat that was holding us back, when we were in the world. Entering into this new life, into this new world, we have to pretty much put on that new man. And this picture right here is pretty much, an example of us chiseling away, getting rid of the old man, right? Because the old man cannot enter into this truth. You can't keep the old man and enter into this truth, because it is a complete conflict of interest, because the old man is filled with carnality. The new man is of the heavens. His mindset, his heart is in the heavens. His conversations should be all about the heavens. The old man is going to come in spitting pure folly, you know? So I wanted to get into these scriptures that I have right here. It's not going to be many. This is going to be a short lesson. And I'm going to start at Ephesians 4 and verse 17. And it reads, the topic is the Christian's walk, which that should be a Mashiach's, a Mash, ah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so it reads, this I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that he henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind. So pretty much at one time we used to walk as Gentiles because we didn't know who we were. We were living in a Gentile state of mind. We were living like the heathens. We were practicing witchcraft, committing adultery, what I'm saying, doing all sorts of wickedness, man, you know? But this is pretty much telling us that we shouldn't walk henceforth as other Gentiles walk, which is in the vanity of their own mind. Because at one point we were thinking about just getting rich, driving the biggest cars, having bigger girls and just living this dirty life, But we should leave that behind, right? Verse 18 says, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their mind, which is their heart, which is their mind. And pretty much we were alienated from Yahweh. In fact, we're still alienated from Yahweh, but through Yahweh Shai, we have now salvation. We can actually come back to Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, right? So verse 19, who being past feeling, having given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. Now, I want to look up this word, lasciviousness, and get the meaning of that word, right? The blue letter. So,
Strong's G 766. As Elgaya. As Elgaya.
yes, El Gaya. It says unbridled, unbridled lust, excess, la- licentiousness, lasciviousness, wantonness, outrageousness, shameless, insolence. So I looked up the meaning of some of these words here, and I want to break it down for you. So the meaning of, say, wantonness. Let's get into that one first. It means bad behavior that is intentional or shows no care about bad things that might result. So pretty much, it's saying that you don't really care. You have this bad behavior, with ill intent, showing that you don't care, about the results of your actions, right? And this is not what the faith is about. This is not what the faith is about. All right. And let's get into outrageousness. So it says, being or having the nature of an outrage, right? You go crazy. No one can control you. You just like out of your mind, which is not of this truth, man. We're supposed to have full control, of our own selves, right? Because being like this is not acting like a Mashiach, It's not acting like Yahweh Shai would act. We're not exemplifying the characteristics of Yahweh Shai when we behave like this, And I want to go into shamelessness, and shamelessness means lack of shame, especially about something generally considered unacceptable. So your behavior, the way you're acting, is unacceptable in the sight of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and it's also unacceptable to the brothers around you. The people who surround you. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable behavior. And the last one I want to get into is insolence, which means rude and disrespectful behavior. And these things we should not we should not be acting like this while we're in the faith, because the old man used to act like this. These are characteristics of the old man. These are not characteristics of the new man, especially amongst the brothers. It's not. These characteristics of the old man, we should have shed that as soon as we got into the faith, because the faith is all about loving thy neighbor as thyself, loving your fellow brothers, your fellow sisters, exemplifying the characteristics of Yahweh Shai, right? Yeah, and go back to this. So verse 19, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness, right? And it says, but you have not so learned Yahweh Shai, right? Because if you did, these characteristics would have been left behind. We wouldn't be acting like this. The street man, the old man, the fat man with the baggage would have been left behind. Coming into this, our minds should be all about heavenly things, having heavenly conversation. Our conversations should be all about the kingdom, right? Because we have a responsibility, right? It says, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahweh Shai, right? It says, if so be he have heard him. So if you heard him, you would have been following what he's saying, and have been taught by him, which he taught, to love your neighbor as thyself, to be peaceful with your brothers and your sisters, love one another, as the truth is in Yahweh Shai, right? It says that he put off concerning the former conversation. So the things you used to talk about, the way you used to act when you were fat, with that body, with that heavy dead weight, the way you used to conversate, leave that alone, leave it in the past, right? Leave that old man behind. It says, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, right? Because the old man was corrupt, because he was very deceitful. He was lusting after the world, which is pure carnality. The old man was filled with pure carnality because that's what he knew growing up in this society. But now we found the truth, right? And the truth is in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, right? It says, wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor. And his neighbor is not talking about the person who lived next door or the person who lived down the block. This neighbor is talking about his fellow Israelites, the ones who are in the brotherhood, right? For we are members one of another. We are, we are members one of another, right? It says, be ye angry and sin not. So you're going to get angry. We are going to get angry because we're still in this flesh, right? We're still in this flesh, so we're going to get angry. But again, we wear these fringes for a reason. And one of the reasons why we wear these fringes is to remind us of the commandments, right? It says, be ye angry and sin not, right? Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. So don't go to bed angry at your brothers, man. Don't carry any malice in your heart amongst your brother. Whatever grievousness you have amongst your brother, call the man, speak about it, talk about it, have a conversation about it, right? Because it's necessary for your salvation, man. It's a law, right? It's a neither give place to the devil. And that's what we do when we get into these state of mind. When we blank out, we give that little, when we go blank, we give that little leeway for the devil to just seep in and just do what he wants to do, right? Which has caused us to go off, which is his intention, right? It says, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth, right? It says, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use as edifying, that if it may minister grace unto the hearers. So we're not the only ones who are hearing what we are doing. There are people walking by, people listening to us, because people, they want to see us go off. They want to say these men act like they're holier than holy, but this is how they act when they're not doing this. No, man, we want to always stay in the spirit. We want to always be acting like how Yahweh Shai acted, or like how Yahweh Shai was when he was on earth, man. Right? That's how we want to be. Right? And it says, and grieve not the Holy Spirit of Yahweh, whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption. Right? Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you. So when you put away the old man, this should be gone too. All these bitterness, wrath, and anger, clamor, and evil speaking should be put away with the old man. So when you leave the old man behind, the fat man behind with all the baggage, when you leave him behind, you're supposed to leave all of this behind as well, right? You're supposed to leave all of this behind as well, right? Just take a look at the fat man. He's chiseling away all the baggage, the excess fat, the things that are holding him back, which is what we should do. Everything that's holding us back, we should chisel it away, which is bitterness, wrath towards one another, anger, clamor, evil speaking, right? These things should be put away and left behind. We should be chiseling these things away so we don't act out of the spirit towards one another, right? It says, and be ye kind one to another. It's not talking about these devils out there. It's not talking about Esau, Edom, the white man. It's not talking about you wicked two-thirds. This is speaking about the true men who's on the highways and the byways teaching, preaching, the ones who's listening and doing videos. We should love and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Yahweh for Yahweh's sake hath forgiven you. So if it wasn't for Yahweh, we would have never gotten forgiveness. But Yahweh came and became that intercessor for us, so we can get forgiveness. So who are we to carry malice in our heart against a fellow man, a fellow brother? That's wickedness, man. Right? And I want to go into Colossians 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, put on the new self, right? So chisel that old man away, chisel those feelings, chisel the anger, chisel the wrath, the jealousy, the lasciviousness, the envy, chisel all that away, right? It says, if ye then be risen with Yahweh, because we are risen, because we were dead, according to Ezekiel 37, we were dead, man. But then the spirit of life, the breath of life came into us. And then we were risen, just like Yahweh Mashiach was risen. Seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh, right? So we should be thinking about the kingdom, living for the kingdom, rehearsing the righteous act. That's what we should be doing. We should be rehearsing the righteous act, right? Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth, right? So fuck this millionaire lifestyle, this freaking expensive ass kingdom that we're living in. You know what I'm saying? Forget about these gold and diamonds and all these things, and set your eyes on salvation, man. Set your eyes on the kingdom, right? It says, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ in Yahweh. It says, when Christ, Mashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall he also appear with him in glory, right? It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil, conspicuous, concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, right? For which things sake, I gotta read this again, right? It says, when Christ, Mashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall he also appear with him in glory, right? So we shall appear with Yahweh in glory when he comes, because that was promised to us, right? It says, mortify thyself. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinance, affection, evil, concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, for which things sake the wrath of Yahweh cometh on the children of disobedience. So these things here, the wrath of Yahweh, come down on the children of disobedience. That's what it's telling you. And it says, in which ye also walk sometimes. So before we were woken up, before the breath of life came into us, we were living like some dirty people, man. And because we were living like that, the wrath of Yahweh came down on us too. It says, in the which he also walked sometime when he lived in them, because we did live in them. But now he also put off all these, right? Anger, 1, wrath, 2, malice, 3, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Put these things off. So when you leave the old man behind, these things should be left with the old man. Anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication. Leave that shit behind. The old man is there. You know what I'm saying? Leave him behind, right? Lie not one to another, seeing that he have put off the old man with his deeds. So all these wicked things that I just mentioned, anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth, these things are left with the old man, right? All his deeds are left with him, right? So the new man is all about spirituality. It's all about the kingdom, right? It says, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, right? So the knowledge that we have now, it says that this this so Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, yeah. Simple paraphrasing, Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, right? So it says here, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge. So right now we have the knowledge because the spirit of Yahweh Shai is within us, revealing things to us according to Amos 3 and 7, right? Let me grab that. Amos 3 and 7. Amos 3, verse 7. It's surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophet. And this is what he does, right? This is what he does, right? It says here, and have put on the new man. So once you get the new man, which is renewed in knowledge. So right now we have the knowledge because all the secret things are revealed to us, right? After the image of him that created him, right? So all these, the knowledge is given to us through Yahweh Shai, right? It says, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Christ HaMashiach is all and in all. And this is speaking of only Israelites. You know, this is speaking of only Israelites. It's not talking about you other people. So don't get it twisted. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. It says, put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh, right? Put on therefore as the elect of Yahweh, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, right? Right? It's a forbearing one another and forgiving one another. So it's forbearing one another and forgiving one another. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, he even has a Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. Right? I want to look up the word forbearing. Aniko.
Strong's G 430. Anecho.
Anejo.
Anecho.
Yeah? It says to hold up, to hold one's self erect and firm, to sustain, to bear, to endure. It says forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do you. So if you and a brother or you and a fellow member are having a dispute, man, don't go to your bed angry. Forgive the man. You know what I'm saying? Forgive your brother and move on, right? And it says, and let the peace of Yahweh rule in your hearts, in your mind, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be thankful, right? It says, let the word of a Mashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom. And if the word of Yahweh Shai is within us, you know what I'm saying? Really, we're going to go off because we're going to always be thinking about the kingdom. We're going to always say, what would Yahweh Shai do in this situation, right? What would Yahweh Shai do in this situation, right? Teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. And whatsoever he do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him, right? Yeah, man. And I wanted to just end it off with just like right here. It says, honor thy father. This is pretty much a commandment coming from the Father, and Yahushua is pretty much just repeating it right here, letting you know, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Matthew 19:19, right? And it says, and the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? That's Matthew 22:39. And Matthew 5:43 says, ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. And who's your neighbor? Your fellow brothers that are doing the work, that are in the truth, in the faith, who's pushing Yahweh Shai Amashiach, who's out there waking up the elect. And who's your enemy? The heathen nation. Esau, Edom, the white man. And also the 2/3 who are doing wickedness, right? And then you got Galatians 5:14. It's telling you, for all the law is fulfilled in one word. Even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And then when you go to Romans 13:10, it says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, right? No ill. None. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. So, love is very important within the brotherhood. And how do you show you love your brother? It's easy, right? And then when you go to James here, pretty much this is all these scriptures are just telling you about love your brothers, love your fellow Israelites, the ones who are pushing this word, this truth, this understanding throughout the four corners of the earth, right? And with that, I'm going to say shalom.